the things you were able to do in tracking down information, and we'll get to it, there's some suspicion that this was only possible with mass surveillance, like with NSA, for example. First of all, is there any truth to that? And second of all, what do you feel are the pros and cons of mass surveillance?
There is no truth to that. And then my feelings on mass surveillance.
If there was, would you tell me?
Probably not. But
yeah. I love this conversation so much. But what do you feel about given that you said child porn, sure, what are the pros and cons of surveillance at a society level?
I mean, nobody wants to give up their privacy. I say that. I say no one wants to give up their privacy. But I mean, I used to have to get a search warrant to look inside your house.
Yeah.
Or I can just log onto your Facebook and you've got pictures of all inside your house and what's going on. I mean, it's not, so people like the idea of not giving up their privacy. But they do it anyways. They're giving away their freedoms all the time. They're carrying watches that gives out their heartbeat away to companies that are storing that. I mean, what's more personal than your heartbeat?
So I think people en masse really want to protect their privacy, and I would say most people don't really need to protect their privacy. But the case against mass surveillance is that if you want to criticize the government in a very difficult time, you should be able to do it. So when you need the freedom, you should have it. So when you wake up one day and realize there's something going wrong with the country I love, I want to be able to help. And that one of the great things about the United States of America is there's that individual revolutionary spirit, like so that the government doesn't become too powerful. You can always protest. There's always the best of the ideal of freedom of speech. You can always say "fuck you" to the man, and I think there's a concern of direct or indirect suppression of that through mass surveillance. You might not. Is that little subtle fear that grows with time that why bother criticizing the government? It's going to be a headache. I'm going to get a ticket every time I say something bad, that kind of thing. So it can get out of hand. The bureaucracy grows and the freedoms slip away. That's the criticism, right?
I completely see your point, and I agree with it. I mean, on the other side, people criticize the government of these freedoms, but I mean, tech companies talk about destroying your privacy and controlling what you can say. I realize they're private platforms, and they can decide what's on their platform, but they're taking away your freedoms of what you can say. And we've heard some things where maybe government officials were in line with tech companies to take away some of that freedom, and I agree with you. That gets scary.
Yeah, there's something about government that feels, maybe because of the history of human civilization, maybe because tech companies are a new thing, but just knowing the history of abuses of government, there's something about government that enables the corrupting nature of power to take hold at scale more than tech companies, at least what we've seen so far.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, we haven't had a voice like we've had until recently. I mean, anyone that has a Twitter account now can speak and become a news article. My parents didn't have that voice. If they wanted to speak out against the government or do something, they had to go to a protest or organize a protest or, do something along those lines. So, we have more of a place to put our voice out now.
Yeah, it's incredible, but that's why it hurts. And that's why you notice it when certain voices get removed. The president of the United States of America was removed from one such or all such platforms. And that hurts.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. That's insane. That's insane that we took that away.